Hello my friends, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a soul tribe reading. So this, what you get in a soul tribe reading is me channeling a lot of messages. Or channeling, things about healing or other things. I was calling it rambling, and two people yesterday said, call it channeling or riffing. So I love that. So yeah, this is going to be a soul tribe reading. So you know what you're going to get, my friends. I hope you guys are doing well. This is the very first thing that I'm doing this morning. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about routine. Because I am someone who has a very strict routine. I am autistic, so everything is structured. I do the same thing at the same time every day. I get up at the same time. I eat breakfast at the same time. I do my readings at the same time. I pee on schedule, weird fact, or weird, maybe this is too much information, but some autistic people don't know how to tell what their body needs. So when I was young, I just learned how to pee on a schedule. Anyway, too much information. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about, as I'm talking about it, I'm on fire, which reminds me of the burning off the karma. I was looking at my animal cards last night and I pulled the Phoenix out of this deck. And the Phoenix it's interesting because the Phoenix talks about that, and I was like, oh, burning off energy, the hot flashes, Phoenix energy rising from the ashes. You feel that karma falling away. Anyway, I've been feeling for a while that my higher self has been telling me that I need to change some things in my life. I need to, stop eating so many cookies. We've already talked about that. But there's other vices and there's other distractions and, lack of, I really wanted to start using my treadmill, blah, blah, blah. I'm someone who's so set in my ways and structure that I find it really hard I'm a Taurus, so I find it really hard to change my routine. And this morning, I kind of made the deal with myself that April 1st, you know how you say that? You're like, oh, on Monday, I'll stop eating junk. And then Monday comes and you're like, maybe tomorrow I'll stop eating junk. And then Wednesday comes and you're like, well, I might as well wait until Monday. And the cycle repeats, or at least that's what it is for me. So this morning I woke up with the intent to start changing some things about my life. So, I'm up. I'm totally off my schedule. I don't normally read this early. And right after this, I'm determined. I'm going to use my treadmill. I'm determined. And when I looked at my tarot cards today, the Five of Wands came out. And when I looked up the meaning behind the Five of Wands when it comes to change, that's actually when you break down that wall of fear. You break down that structure that feels like it's not working anymore, and you change your routine. And I thought, that's magic. That's just magic. So I don't know if you guys, there's something that you're wanting to change your routine on, or your intuition has been like, hey, maybe you should stop doing that, or hey, maybe you should start doing that. But I've decided it's time, especially with the eclipse coming up. I'm ready, I'm ready for change. Which is not something Tauruses say all the time. I listened to a reading yesterday and she was talking about Tauruses and about how they're the most patient sign in the zodiac. And I'm like, what? I'm definitely not that Taurus. Anyway, so Natasha sent me this deck, and it's Mushroom Spirit Oracle, and I'm just in love with it, and I'm in love with her little note because she said, mush love, Natasha. And I love this deck so much, and I love you guys so much. Anyway, I'm excited to use it with you guys. I was using it for myself yesterday. And yeah, so let's get into it. Let's see what we need to talk about. We have reveal. So there's a huge, it's so many collectives are going through it, especially with Mercury in retrograde. there is this energy of people wanting to reveal things and communicate. You know, maybe there's something you want to reveal to someone, or someone wants to reveal something to you, or you want to reveal your gift to the world. Oh no! Anyway, healing. Yes, healing. It's so funny that if you guys looked at that post that I did where I was channeling an energy of two people who still needed to heal, and then the whole 4554 thing, and then I looked up the number. While I was doing that reading, there was someone in my comment section saying, I don't think we're on the same page on this one. I don't think we should have to learn all these lessons. I don't think we should have to be healed before we have love. That's not what I'm saying. And she was saying, I don't think we have to wait for people. I'm not saying to wait. I say don't wait. I always say choose yourself. Like, work on yourself. Fall in love with yourself. Anyway, it was just interesting because as that person was making that comment, I was doing that reading. And after I was done that reading, I saw the comment and I just found that, you know, very telling. I'm not saying to wait for anybody. And I'm also not saying that life has to be hard, but I'm coming from a very different place than perhaps that person. Where I'm coming from, you know, I had a really hard life and I am carrying a lot of karmic debt for my entire family. And I am determined to clear that karmic debt. Like, I am fucking determined. So that's why I see the lesson in everything. I'm determined to break cycles in my family. And I think it does make sense that we should have, like that 5445 said, in order to have a stable, harmonious relationship, you have to be stable and harmonious within yourself first. And I think that makes total sense. You know, when two unhealed people come together, there's going to be lack of stability. Anyway, I am channeling today. I'm not going to call it ranting. I am channeling today. My friends, I love you. I really do. I posted that Homer meme. Calm. 5, Hierophant energy. I posted that Homer meme about waking up at 3:33 a.m. And then last night I woke up and I was like, all right, spirit, what time is it? And I turned over 3:33. All right, that's enough of that. The mushies, the mushrooms. I love them so much. Just like I love you guys so much. We have block 4. Interesting. So we have to read this. This is Emperor energy. And, you know, I truly believe, I truly believe we need balanced feminine and masculine energy within us. And I say this all the time to my people, you know, if you don't have that divine masculine energy within you, that's the one where that's the energy that gives you stability and confidence and gives you the fire to go after what you deserve. And you know your worth and you know you're more than enough. It's not, am I good enough? The emperor, the masculine energy, knows they're more than enough. So maybe, you know, we've been talking about it. Maybe there's a blockage in the masculine energy, or maybe you're trying to balance your masculine energy. For me, I almost said I worked on my feminine energy first, then my masculine, but that's not true. I think that I actually had to work on my masculine energy before my feminine energy, because first I needed to know my worth. And I was in distorted feminine energy for sure. Anyway, let's get it. 4. I'm hearing the song Get Dat. It's like really upbeat. And it's about, I'm going to go get that. Gonna get that. Gonna get that. My kids love that song. What? I'm trying to hear the... I'm gonna get that. Won't stop till I get that. Ooh, won't stop. No, won't stop till I get that. Till I get that. Oh dear, I never used to sing. When I tell my partner I sing on my channel, he's like, what? Okay, so I'm gonna read the whole thing because we are in the Soul Tribe reading. Known for its many striking colors and turkey tail-like shape, the turkey tail mushroom is common all around the world. It has many health benefits, but it is most commonly known for its immune-enhancing abilities. Studies have proven T. versicolor, to be effective in the treatment of cancer, and it is often used alongside chemotherapy. Turkey tail contains compounds called polysaccharides, that appear, I'm actually very proud of myself that I got it almost that right. Turkey tail contains compounds called, I already read that. See, now I'm overthinking it. That appear to inhibit growth of cancer cells and stimulate the immune system. This is on page 24, High Priestess energy, Emperor energy. Where is there a blockage or stagnation in your life? It is time to focus on building your energy and defenses so that you can shift this stuck energy. Yeah. Chinese medicine says if there is debris in a creek causing it to be blocked, do not lift each heavy piece out of the way individually. Instead, build the flow of water so it moves the debris on effortlessly. The creek or river is our blood and QI, and the debris is stuck energy, repressed emotions, and the accumulation of fluids that need movement to transform them. When we build ourselves up on the inside, we give ourselves a better chance of pushing through obstacles within and outside ourselves. People are so offended when I'm like, you need to work on yourself. What? Shouldn't love just come right to me? Sure, if you want unhealthy love, go for it. The other thing I was going to talk about, you guys, is something that I wanted to admit to you that I haven't admitted to anyone, is that I was experiencing a block and I didn't realize it until I did that reading last week, whenever it was, where the music card came out in was it the mermaid or the fairy deck? I can't remember. And the music card came out. And I realized that I have not been listening to music. And I thought, oh, that's just because I've been doing this and I've been doing that. I'm someone that listens to music all the time. And I noticed I hadn't been listening to music unless it's been very upbeat in my van or dancing in my bathroom. And after I did that reading and that song from my first spiritual awakening came on when I hit shuffle, I started crying and I realized that there's emotions that I'm suppressing and that I've been avoiding music because I know that music helps me feel my emotions. So I realized, that was, I had repressed emotions there. So I've been listening to music ever since. And I'm feeling, a lot better. So if there's something you're avoiding or something that you're putting off or saying, oh, I can do that next week or whatever, now might be the time to explore that, especially if you're waiting, where's my love? Or where's this? Where's that? What can you be working on? And just because you're learning lessons and working on yourself doesn't mean your life is hard. I really don't care what anybody says. I think you can learn lessons in every interaction you have. You can learn lessons with every reaction you have. And what's wrong with wanting to be better and striving to heal and striving to change the world? I mean, come on, let's do it. Anyway, it's interesting because I have a routine that I go by in the morning, and I almost feel right now that I'm super tapped into what I'm channeling because I didn't do all those things before this. It's really strange. I feel very tapped into channeling right now, if that makes sense. if you're someone who doesn't know what I mean and you're trying to work towards that, like maybe you're sitting there thinking, what does she mean by channeling? I'll never be able to do that. Yes, you will. I used to watch Esoterro talk to her spirit guides, and she'd be like, Spirit, I'm not going to say that. And I'd be like, who is she talking to? Like, what is she experiencing? And now I get it. Anyway. I am not going to use the word ramble or rant. Turkey tail, I know, I'm not even done. Isn't it that beautiful, though? That's pretty beautiful. Turkey tail is effective. This is what I mean. Nature, you know, it's true what Pocahontas said. Every life, creature, tree, thing has a spirit and has a name. And I am more blown away by the beauty of things like this than materialistic things, you know? There are constantly miraculous things happening all around us, you know? There's beautiful life all around us, and most of us are so distracted by TV and just everything else. Anyway. I'm honed in on my channeling today. Turkey tail is effective in cancer treatment. I know it's repeating itself here. Cancer is the proliferation of cells in an abnormal state, that is, an overgrowth of cells. Ask yourself, what has triggered something in my life to grow out of control and dangerously? Is something you have left unchecked grown to a point that is no longer serving you? Or is there someone or something in your life that is no longer for your highest good? It's time to look around you and inside yourself to find what stands in the way of your flow and remove it. And that's what it is. See, this is what I mean. This is exactly what I started this reading talking about. Like, I'm ready for change. I'm ready for the stagnant things that I've been putting off dealing with. I'm ready for change. You know, I'm ready to... I think that in the healing journey, you go through like highs and lows, and you go through periods where you hit a stagnation and you realize, well, I'm getting really good at reflecting within myself. I'm talking about myself. I'm getting really good at reflecting about my lessons. I'm getting really good at, you know, looking at my reactions, dealing with my shadows. What comes next? Like, you hit kind of a plateau where you're like, okay, I'm doing it. And then you hit a plateau where it's like, okay, now something else needs to change. I have to do something else to cause more flow, if that makes sense. We never stop healing. We never stop growing. And for people who look at it as lessons, make your life, why does life have to be so hard? Why can't life be fun and easy? I'm telling you, my life is so much more beautiful and easy because I'm healing and reflecting and learning from my lessons all the time. Anyway, at the end of the day, we can all believe in whatever the heck we want. You know, if you don't agree with me, turn me off. I won't be offended. I do that all the time with tarot readers. I put them on and it's like, well, I don't really like where this reading is going. It doesn't feel like it aligns with me, and I turn it off, you know? It's time to look around you and inside yourself and, oh, I already said that, and find what stands in the way of your flow and remove it. By making this stand and strengthening your energy, you allow the life force that moves you to flow naturally, bringing balance and harmony back into your life. So when things seem stagnant, it's time for change. You know, it's time to change something else. That's what I mean. When the healing journey starts to feel easy and like it's plateauing, it's like there's more to do. Anyway, let's get it. What do we need to hear? We have Nourish. So this came up for me last night, And my kids were talking so much. I was sitting in a room with all of my kids shuffling. And any card that came out, I couldn't connect to it because my kids were being so loud. And I was like, I've learned my lesson. I know not to try and read my cards when there's other people around, unless it's my soul tribe. I told my partner, I'm like, I'm telling you, someday I am determined to meet my soul tribe in person. I am determined. I am determined. Just imagine a soul tribe get together under the Northern Lights or in Ireland. We're still working out the details. But, what have you been doing to change your life? What have you been doing to create flow in your life to excuse you? Oh, Wally, it's okay. Don't panic. Hang on. Anyway, hairball. When your life starts to feel routine and like it's the same thing day after day, what can you do to change it? Change isn't a bad thing. Change is good. Anyway, if Wally gets too loud there, he's got a hairball. He's been checked, he did this at the vet, and the vet, when he was getting his nails, he had like a nail that needed, it was growing back. It was trying to grow back into his whatever. Anyway, it's okay, my love. It's okay, little Wally. It's okay. You've got this, buddy. It's all right. Hang on. All right. I think he's done. Every time I say that, he starts again. So what, it's interesting that we have 3 and 4 because I was talking about balancing masculine and feminine energies. Anyway, let's keep going. Wally distracted me off of my point. And this is on page 21, world energy, the completion of cycles, the end of patterns, finding your fulfillment. That emperor energy, having the strength to take control of your life and to remove anything that doesn't work. And then empress energy, learning how to nourish yourself, and nurture yourself and know that everything you need comes from within. And if I'm triggering you when I say that, and you're feeling like, well, I should be allowed to have love before I fully heal myself. Sure. I'm not saying that you can't. That's not what I'm saying. Anyway, what is this called? Well, this is Shiitake. Edodes, I don't know, grows on fallen tree branches and logs, making it popular for the home cultivator because pre-inoculated logs can be purchased to place in your backyard. The logs can produce mushrooms for up to 6 years, serving as food and medicine. Excuse me, I'm burping. That's a sign that you're channeling as well, that you're releasing the energy that you're channeling. Shiitake is notorious and a good substitute for meat. Is that why they make the shiitake mushrooms as a burger? Oh, like a veggie burger? Yuck. High in amino acids, copper, zinc, and B vitamins, shiitake, if grown under specific UV lights or sun-dried, can have a staggering amount of vitamin D. It is a powerful immune activator, may reduce blood pressure, fight cancer, give energy, support healthy hair and skin, decrease inflammation, and lower cholesterol. Traditional Chinese text refers to edodes as the elixir of life. It is known to tone qi, and blood. I don't know, qi, word fairy, where are you? I love you, my word fairy, I love you. And now I've got you in my Patreon, I've got you all to myself. No, I'm just kidding. Something or someone in your life needs nourishment. Now, what have we been channeling for ages? that we need to, I say we, like, you know, we're a team, me and you, okay? We've been channeling in my soul tribe readings the same energy that you're working on nourishing yourself and you're raising your vibration and you're attracting in someone who needs that nourishment. You know, you could even be, it doesn't have to be another person. You could be being born as a healer. Like if you are meant to be a healer and you are healing yourself, you're giving off healing frequency and you're drawing people in towards you that need help. Anyway. Nourishment comes in many forms, from the food you eat to the things that make your heart sing. Are you replacing the energy you are expending, or are you becoming worn out? Are you attending to your garden and to your inside environment as well as your internal? You cannot completely nourish your soul if you are starving somewhere else in your life. Are you yearning for something? And this is what I mean. If you're yearning for another person, that means that something within you, unless it's like, I'm not talking about a soul connection where you have that like longing for someone because you're energetically attached. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who get in that stagnant energy and they're like, I want someone in my life. I want love. Like I want something else. Anyway, let's just keep reading. That's what I mean. Are you yearning for something? Is there a hole that needs filling? And I spent my entire life with my soul yearning for something, with a void. And when I was younger, I chose alcohol to fill that hole. And then when I quit alcohol, I chose animals to fill that hole. And then once the animals, you know, once that feeling of, oh, I finally feel fulfilled because I have this cute little puppy. Not really, but kind of. When that dopamine wears off, that void is back. So then I had kids, and then I had more kids. And then after the kids, I started getting more dogs, and then I got into plants, and I was constantly yearning for something. Like I always felt like I was missing something, like there was a void within me. And I thought I could fill it with material things. I thought I could fill it with animals, kids, substances, you know? And I realized as soon as I spiritually awakened, it was actually when I met my counterpart, energetically something within me changed. And when I spiritually awakened and I started learning about myself and healing, I started to fill that void with healing energy. You know, I started to look at that void and question it. And I've never looked back, you know. I can now very calmly say, I am not interested in having another puppy. Like, no, 3 is enough. Anyway, if that makes any sense to anyone, that's a miracle. Take stock of the areas in your life that need more nourishment, whether physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, or creative. Make a note of what needs more attention in your life and nourish it, which is what I started this whole reading was talking about. You know, I feel like I've hit a plateau and I need to figure out what my next step is, and that is what needs more nourishment. I need more nourishment. Like, you know, there's certain things I want to stop doing. Vices that I have, you know, as someone who is, I'm being very vulnerable here, as someone who is autistic, I stim a lot, and stimming can be like nail biting. I used to bite my nails really badly. And then I replaced that. I was like, oh, I'm going to quit biting my nails. And I replaced it with an even worse stim, which is I pick at my skin. And it's actually, I do it on, there's an actual name for it. It's like dermatillomania. And I actually pick at my scalp, and it's because I can hide it under my hair. And I've decided that I need to stop doing that. Like, that's what I mean. I made a deal with myself that today I'm going to start changing for the better. Like, I'm going to try and stop picking at my skin because I'm hurting myself. It is self-harm. And I'm going to start putting that energy, instead of doing that, I'm going to get on my treadmill, you know? And instead of eating so many cookies, I'm going to eat more salad. I'm already eating salad every day, which I'm very proud of myself for. But this is what healing looks like. And people think that, you know, healing soul connections and finding true love is like you find it within someone else, but you have to find it within yourself first. Anyway, this is what healing looks like. Maybe you need to put more nourishment into your relationships with people, pets, plants, or yourself. Ask yourself, who or what is missing out? What can I give more of? Is there a project that you've started that needs more of your attention? Every project that is started and not finished still holds a part of your energy attached to it. Yes. And I started the reading. What are you trying to accomplish that you've been kind of putting on the back burner? What unfinished things, like I'm going to start walking on my treadmill every day, like me, have you been putting off for months, like me? You know, when I was an alcoholic, I knew I was an alcoholic, but I was in denial, and I would keep saying, oh, I'll quit next week. Oh, I'll quit next week. Oh, I'll quit next week. Anyway. It may be time to complete all of those unfinished projects and nourish what you started to completion, World Card energy. If you don't know where to start, nourish yourself in such a way that you know how to. When you notice where the gaps in your life are, you can take action to change them, making you feel more whole. Yes! All right. Whoa! I wish you guys could have seen that. That did a flip and like went above my head. Ew. Oh. I thought there was, ow. I thought there was blood on my floor. It's a cranberry from my trail mix. 1, Reishi. It's fun to say, whatever it is. Spirit medicine 1, magician energy. So let's see what this one says. Let me make sure it's still recording. It is, yay. Oops. And like with all the time I spend doing things that are not good for me, I can spend more time doing tarot. Like seriously, I wouldn't even be close to starting my tarot readings right now. Let's see what we have. Reishi, I don't know. Known as the Queen of the Mushrooms, is also one of the most well-known for its medicinal qualities. It has been used extensively in Chinese medicine for at least 2,000 years and is known as the mushroom of longevity and vitality. It is a powerful immune modulator, promotes good sleep, reduces stress, and helps with allergies. In Chinese, it is known as Lingzi, or whatever that is, or spirit herb, and is considered to be a bridge between heaven and earth. Like the rainbow. Remember the rainbow from heaven to earth that we were... Anyway, Rainbow Bridge. I felt that when that card came out, Rainbow Bridge, I felt the loss of a pet immediately in the energy. And so many of you said that you had just recently lost a pet. So my heart goes out to you. I know what that's like. They're a part of you. Like, I feel like crying right now. They're a part of you. And they bring us so much comfort in the short time that they're here. So maybe you have a pet right now, alive, that maybe you haven't been petting as much as you usually do. Like maybe your pet needs nourishment, maybe your pet needs some attention. And it's also on page 14, which is temperance, alchemy, the balancing of energies. Magician, alchemist. Since your Shen or spirit resides in the heart. Nope. I skipped a line. There are many types of Reishi, and all have similar qualities. In Chinese medicine, G. lucidum calms the spirit and nourishes the heart. Since your Shen or spirit resides in the heart, When your heart key, word fairy, please help me. Is it key, kai, she? I don't know. Is weak. It cannot restrain the spirit from traveling up to your head, which turn in, oh my gosh. Since your Shen or spirit resides in the heart, when your heart key is weak, it cannot restrain the spirit from traveling up to your head, which in turn causes insomnia and restlessness. It's interesting because when I was looking at this, I was kind of seeing this spiraling effect. Restlessness. By nourishing the heart, you therefore calm the Shen and it returns to the heart where it can rest. Reishi is not only good for heart conditions, it also tones the lung qi, which aids in respiratory function. It is a powerful adaptogen, helping your body to adapt to stress and making it the perfect mushroom to aid in meditation. You can find reishi on the lower parts of hardwood trees such as oak. It has a shiny appearance to it and can look fake. Interesting. Reishi is heart medicine, spirit medicine. There is a giant, it almost looks white. It's dog outside, like a very large golden retriever that's very, very, very light. That dog could also be part, what's the giant white fluffy dog? It could be part that dog, whatever it is. I know it, I just can't think of it right now. Giant white fluffy dog. Are you feeling unsettled and needing to bring calm into your life? Do you need to find what your spirit is searching for? Are you overthinking things and exhausting your heart key so spirit is unsettled? Then it is time to ground yourself and nurture your spirit. Sit in your heart center and see where you can start nurturing yourself better. Introducing reishi into your diet and spiritual practices may be needed at this time. It is time for calm on a spiritual level so it can filter down to the physical. Reishi helps nourish your mind, body, and spirit, your heart. It allows your body to rest and recover while offering it the nourishment and support that it needs. This is a great lesson to learn for those who are overworked, stressed, not sleeping, and continuing to push themselves. It is important to rest. It is important to bring meditation into your spiritual practices. Are you making time for your spiritual practices? How are you nourishing yourself? How are you nourishing your spirit? Only you can answer these questions. Being able to nourish your Shen or spirit is something that is not often seen in the herbal world, making reishi an exceptional medicine. If the key to longevity and vitality is nourishing the spirit, shouldn't you be following what makes your heart and spirit sing? Reishi is reminding you it is time to create calm, to listen to what your spirit needs. Beautiful. And I want to point out that it's on page 14, 15, and 16. 14, temperance, finding balance, being patient. 15, devil energy, assessing your shadows, what needs to be removed. Assessing your ego. 16, rebuilding your foundation. Anyway, beautiful. And we'll get one more. One more mushy card. We have 22. And we have Fairy Ink Cap. Subtly. Beautiful. Those look like Lily of the Valley or whatever that... What am I trying to think of? It reminds me of Lily of the Valley. Look. See? And see, this is another thing I have to do. This book, this oracle book, is like a coloring book. So I have to do that, I just wanted to, Lily of the Valley, Contentment, growth, new life. And I'm just going to read this. If you're going through a rough patch, know that good times aren't too far ahead, as this card suggests that the user problems are coming to an end. You're finally leaving that rut behind, ready to start over fresh, building your own foundation. The dust settles. Inspiration will soon overtake you, giving you a long-needed boost of energy to chase your goals. Hang in there a bit longer and you will see the results you've been hoping for. Beautiful. So, subtly, 22. There's a lot of, I think it's interesting because the first card we had was 4 and we have 1, 2, 3 here. So, very interesting. 22, 22, 20, 20, 22. It's on page 69. Listen, 69. Loving yourself, having harmony within yourself. 9, having a strong foundation, knowing yourself. A reader that I was listening to yesterday explained the Hermit card. And when you are on your soul path, when you're learning about yourself, the Hermit card is not about isolation. It's about, sometimes people can go into hermit energy and it feels like quite isolated. But when you're healed or when you're enlightened, whatever, hermit energy, you're perfectly content being on your own. And that's what I trigger people with when I say that. Like when you're content with yourself and you've fallen in love with yourself, that's when you'll, meet someone on your vibration. And if you're unhappy being in hermit energy, you're unhappy being alone, it's because you're missing something within yourself. And again, I used to listen to my favorite reader for a long time. I was like, I'm not going to listen to her. Like, she's too out there. And like my ego was like, no, what she's saying is wrong. And she'd say things that really triggered me. And I can admit that. Like, I love her. Anyway. The fairy ink cap is normally found in the dense masses attached to tree stumps and roots. It starts off a pale white and turns gray before it blackens and dies. Very delicate, it will collapse when touched in an absolutely stunning, very delicate, it will collapse when touched in an absolutely stunning display if you ever come across them. Interesting. So I feel like maybe if you touch it, it like collapses. Very interesting. Some things can come and go in the blink of an eye. One day they are there, the next they are gone. The energy here is delicate and fairy-like. This subtle energy is here to create a magical atmosphere, a beauty that something goes unseen. Are you noticing the subtle energies around you? Or are you too busy to notice? Fairy ink cap reminds you that many small or subtle acts can create massive shifts. This card is a reminder to be subtle. Moving in on something like a steamroller may not be the right course of action. Subtlety is key here, and it can be extremely powerful, so give it a try. Someone may be trying to tell you something that you are not hearing because it is very subtle. Much wisdom can be gained by observing and feeling the subtle energy around you. Every plant, tree, or flower is giving off subtle energy. People, pets, and places may have subtle energy that can only be felt when you quiet yourself enough to be able to sense it. My high priestesses. I was talking to someone in my comment section yesterday about how it's hard to see through the veil. Like, it's hard to look at someone and see their ego and how unhappy they are, and to know, and like, you can't just take their hand and be like, come over here where it's light and happy and blah, blah, blah. They have to walk through that veil by themselves. They have to see through it themselves. Anyway. Fairy ink cap says to slow down, create stillness and mindfulness in your practices, and you will gain great wisdom from the energies around you. You don't need to go out and search for this energy. It will find you if it hasn't already. But be ready to listen and take it on board because it could come and go before you even realize it. Subtle lessons, I'm telling you. And then I'm just going to get the bottom of the deck because why not? Why not? Stay. So we have split gill, adapt. And like people are more interested in material things when we've got this beautiful, like look at that. That's miraculous to me that, you know, that kind of beauty exists on the forest floor and so many people are too busy looking at their phone or, you know, whatever to notice it. It's beautiful. You know, maybe take a walk in nature, have some appreciation for the beauty that's all around us. After school special right here. I'm hearing, oh my gosh, I don't know if this, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. You will if you're Canadian. But I just heard after I said, go out and look at the nature and blah, blah, blah. Like, look at this. And I just heard, don't you put it in your mouth till you ask someone, you know, if it's okay to eat like a muffin or a beet. I could sing it properly, but anyway. If you don't know just what it is, don't put it in your mouth. You will find the split gill on every continent in the world except Antarctica, as well as all year round. It grows in sunny places on dead or dying wood, and prefers deciduous trees such as beech, linden, alder, and oak. The name linden could be important. Anyway, it has received its name due to its radical gill-like folds, which are centrally split. It's on page 77. Oh my gosh, 777. Hang on. It's on page 77 and it's 25. 7. High Priestess energy and Hierophant energy, and it says adapt. So maybe you're learning to adapt to seeing through that veil. Maybe you're learning to adapt to your own spirituality. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Oh my gosh, we have 222. Your angels are asking you to release the fear of the unknown. It's called Trust the Divine. Trust the universe. Give up your control of what's going to happen next. Your angels are telling you not to fear the future, but to rather embrace it with faith, and that it's all in your best interest. It is perfect in the design brought to you by your most trusted guardian angels. Just wanted to put that out there. These splits allow it to open and close because they dry out with prolonged dry weather and then rehydrate with rain many times over a growing period. Another amazing fact is that they have more than 28,000 different sexes, where many species have only 4 or 5. Do you see what I mean? There's so much magic in nature and insects and animals and trees and plants. Anyway. Split gills tend to be quite hard, but are still edible and still used in China and Japan for its medicinal qualities. S. commune is said to increase energy, enhance the immune system, treat gynecological issues, and be a supportive treatment for cancer. Being able to adapt to, I don't want to say this, but we've had 3 cards that mention cancer. So for any of you that are struggling with that or facing that or have a loved one that are facing that, I just want to send you lots of love and light and healing. Lots of love and light and healing to you and your loved one. You know, it could have even been a pet, you know. Being able to adapt to any condition or environment is important. How do you weather the storm? Do you conserve your energy when the time is quiet? And do you notice nature's cycles happening around you? When you become more in tune with your natural surroundings, you understand energy flow. You can choose to align yourself with this energy and ease into a state of flow. Or you can fight the cycles and burn out and exhaust yourself by trying to swim upstream against the current. Yes! I mean, don't do that. I spent my whole life swimming upstream against the current. I've learned it's easier to go down in the flow. The split gill shows you how to adapt to the current situation to preserve yourself. Is there a situation in your life at present that you need to stop fighting and just give in to the flow or adapt to the current circumstances? There may be a situation coming up that you need to adapt to, so remember this advice when it comes. Not everyone will be a fan of what you do, but there are others who will. There is no pleasing everybody, so just please yourself and do what is necessary to provide yourself with a safe environment. This also says that you might want to take some time out and only re-emerge when you are rested and feeling more refreshed. Maybe taking a break from social media or a situation that has left you feeling deflated is needed. Recharge yourself and only give yourself things that nourish you mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Then when you are fully charged, come back into view. Beautiful. So perhaps, there's something in your past that wasn't moving forward and you felt stuck and you had to adapt to it kind of not moving, if that makes sense. Anyway, what do I want to get you now? I kind of want to get... I pulled that flower book out, so maybe we'll get a couple of these flower cards. So I'm just going to cut it once, and then we'll see what wants to come out for you. What do we need to hear? I saw that when I was shuffling. Well, that's a sign. That was on the bottom of the deck when I first picked it up. So I am going to take it because... And that one I saw while I was shuffling. So we're going to take both of them. Hemlock. I used to do photos at a park across the city. It was called Hemlock Ravine, and it had a heart-shaped pond in it. Man-made, of course, but it had a heart-shaped pond in it. And people always wanted to go there for photos, like because of the heart-shaped pond, but you can't get the heart-shaped pond unless you're doing like a drone shot. It wasn't actually the prettiest park, if I'm being honest, for pictures. I didn't really like it. Self-determination, conviction, opposition. Hemlock has been known as a deadly poison, one used throughout history for murders, executions, and suicides. According to Christian mythology, hemlock only became deadly after it started growing on the hillside of Jesus' crucifixion. The blood turned the plant into poison, but even before that, it had a deadly reputation. The Greek philosopher Socrates, after facing backlash for his ideology, was ordered by the court to let go of his work or die, and he chose the latter. I gotta learn more about Socrates. He considered his death liberation from worldly affairs and human limitations and chose death by hemlock his preferred way to go. I had no idea. There is a lesson to be learned from Socrates' determination to prioritize his life's work, beliefs, and passions above all else. This card poses a genuine question to the viewer. Are you ready to take a stand for your ideology, or are you willing to compromise yourself for the sake of conforming? No! Fuck conforming! Although it might be an uncomfortable thought to draw such a stark comparison, the card urges you to look deep inside to evaluate if you've stayed true to yourself. Life will throw challenges your way. You'll encounter people who will question and oppose your actions, but you must learn that it's all part of your journey towards growth. Facing oppositions can be the best tool to help you evolve and learn more about yourself. So don't be shy. Take a stand for yourself. You are the only one responsible for your life and actions, so live it without fearing judgment of others. If you've been meaning to make a decision that you fear won't go over well with others, Take this card as a sign to ignore the doubt. Live your life on your own terms and have conviction while you do it. Yes! I'm just like, yeah! Fuck yeah! And it's on page 49, Emperor energy, knowing your worth, and you have conviction to go after what you want. And 9, your soul path, knowing yourself, the evolution of your soul. For anybody who thinks that they don't need to learn lessons, I'm coming from someone who used to be like you, who has grown into my higher self, or I'm trying to, and it's magical over here. It's magical. Anyway, I just wanted to show you the card. And then we have Snakehead flower. My kids are so loud. 93, you guys, 9. It's coming through a lot here. You know, knowing yourself, Hermit energy, your soul path, Empress energy, 3. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to the numbers where you've lived, like your houses, but you should look into that. This reminds me, because the very first house I lived in when I was born was 93. And then we moved to 33. And then I moved and bought a duplex, like 2 halves of a duplex, with my partner when we first got married. And the address was 31 and 33. Anyway, I don't know if you guys pay attention to stuff like that. A bulbous flower speckled like a snake's skin, this purple and fuchsia perennial is named the snakehead flower. It bows its head down and features structured leaves that make a great indoor plant, one that is incredibly good at cleansing the air. While looking at the card, focus on the flower, particularly its shape. See how the flower keeps its head bent? These flowers are humble, and the lesson they teach us is one that we should always take to heart. You are an amazing person who works hard, puts in the effort, and succeeds. While it's great to be proud of that, always be sure not to let it go to your head. Material success comes and goes. Remember the journey it took you to get to where you are. And do not look down upon those who are still struggling. You likely had help to get to where you are now. Extend your hand to those around you. Be the support they need to make it up to your level. Take steps and deal fairly and kindly with others to create supportive, nurturing space wherever you go. This card can also be a sign that you need to pause for a moment of reflection. Have you been moving towards a goal single-mindedly? This would be a good time to stop and evaluate your present course of action. There may be new information you haven't considered or developments that can impact how you proceed from here. The best way to progress is to stop moving entirely and surrender to the whims of the universe. Instead of aimlessly moving forward, blind to the changing landscape, take a step back and get a second opinion. Don't try and push past the blocks. You'll only succeed in doing more harm than good. Perhaps you need more help than you realize, and even if you don't, asking for advice is never a bad idea. Keep yourself open to criticism and know that no one is perfect, and no one is 100% correct all the time. Beautiful. And it's true. No one is perfect. No one will ever be done their healing journey. No one will ever be 100% right or 100% wrong, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm feeling... No, I don't want to get another one of these. I want to go to this deck. For some reason, I'm really called to get you, like, oracle cards. What do we need to hear, Spirit? This is Dirt Gems. Listen, it's planty here today because we got the mushrooms, we got the flowers. Now we're going Dirt Gems. We have, this is the front. This was the card that I cut open to and that I was going to mention. But I was like, nah, I'll just keep going. Look at that. Hierophant energy. evolution of your soul. Again, 9s are coming out all over this reading. And look at the butterfly and all the butterflies transforming and that caterpillar looking. Like, how are those butterflies doing that? You know? Beautiful, beautiful. You could be someone who's awakened and now you're, you know, sparking others to do the same. Because, yeah, 59, Hierophant and Hermit energy. So let's see. I did organize my books, so it shouldn't be too far. Where are you? There you are. 59, 59, 50, 50, 59. Nope, not the page, the card, 59. Hello, Wally. It's on page 140 and 141. Hawthorn is the love light. This generous tree has a long-standing relationship with humans and our hearts, our core interface with the world and source of knowing. Many think the brain is responsible for our intelligence, but in fact, the heart is our primary brain in the body. The heart is the receiver and interpreter of what is going on around us. The brain is the translator and director of action and choice. If we are to know how we want to be in the world, the heart is the agent of this impulse, movement, and direction. It's funny because it says the brain is the director of action and choice, and we see 1 and 4, which is magician energy and emperor energy. Hawthorn is the single most attuned plant for working with the human heart on all levels. Our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual selves are all in conversation, intertwined in action and consequence. If you are dealing with a physical condition of the heart, chest pain, or discomfort, Hawthorn is an important ally. If you are undergoing great change, heartbreak, or grief, you must call out to this plant. When our emotional heart is aching, our physical body reacts, revealing that we are going through something that requires our attention. So attend, call in Hawthorn as a mender, a renewing bridge between body and soul. Another bridge! Interesting. There's been several cards, especially the Rainbow Bridge yesterday, that talks about a bridge, you know, bridging the gap, rebuilding bridges. Hawthorn will whisper your name in the middle of the night. Hawthorn will help you hold your head up in the light of day. Hawthorn will remind you that you are loved, that you are whole, and that you will be okay. Wounds within the heart, whether physical or emotional, are reflective of what we can give or receive, what we cherish, and what we have lost. Care for these memories, transitions, and experiences as you would a child. Interesting. Let's get another one. Ah! Tower! My black obsidian tower just fell. Let's get another one. We have Magnolia. Beautiful. That's beautiful. 60. Lover's energy. Oh, we had 59 and 60. I love when that happens. That's magic. All right, so we have Magnolia. Time traveler. Okay. This one talked about change. Some of these talked about what do we need to change. Anyway, Magnolia says, get ready. It is coming. Interesting. Change will happen whether you are ready or not. Magnolia asks us not to fight change or resist where life leads us, but to let things become what they must as we build our lives with integrity, slow down, and trust. Magnolia reminds us, you are as old as anything on earth. You have everything you need. When you feel as though you have tried to change and things always cycle back around, or you wonder how you will ever work through something, Magnolia says, let time flow through you. Everything you have lost is still all around you, and everything you have once been will be again. And Magnolia knows because they are 95 million years old. Oh my gosh. As they hold us in our entirety, through our history, our whole selves, and the non-linearity, whatever, of space, of time and space, Magnolia has seen it all. Linearity? Non-linearity? I don't know. With their velvety voice, Magnolia says, persevere. 9 of Wands. You're wounded and weary from your healing journey, but persevere with hope and determination. With their guidance, you can endure the passage of time with voluptuous beauty. Let your swollen, teary eyes radiate your tenderness, your humanity. Let yourself be beautiful in all of your states. Waxy, creamy, and tough, Magnolia asks us to believe in the fullness of time, to not waste our days worrying or giving in to expectations and disappointment. If you feel your limitations around you, Magnolia asks you to grow beyond yourself. Yes! We are often attracted to or called by Magnolia when there is a natural process unfolding in our lives that we are fighting or resisting. Magnolia will remind you that time and space have no hold on you. Beautiful. And right before I came on here, I was listening to a reading where the reader was like, time is an illusion. Time is an illusion. And I used to think people who said things like that were cuckoo. Like, I'd be like, what? But when you stop and think about it, I don't know if you guys have been through a dark night of the soul, but when you do go through a dark night of the soul, you start to look at things. I think I explained it in a reading the other day, like, why do we do the things we do? Why, I think it was on my Patreon reading, long ago, someone told us that we had to do something a certain way, and it's been like that ever since, but why? Anyway, I'm seriously, I question a lot, and I'm outgrowing. Like, I noticed between me and my partner, we have very different opinions now. Like he'll say to my kids, like, stop eating with your fingers. And I'll say to him, why do they have to eat with a fork? Because someone once upon a time told us that was a proper thing to do. Like, I'm not looking for debate here. I just mean, like, when you're spiritually awakening, you start to look at things like that. Like, now there's a black car sitting outside my house. That's weird. You start to look at things like that. Like, why can't we wear our pajamas during the day? Who the hell said we couldn't? And why are we listening to them? Anyway, I'm really feeling the oracle cards, you guys. So I'm going to get you, I think we need to end with Animal Apothecary, just because I love Animal Apothecary. This reminds me of a bracelet that my son gave me. My son is very into planets and things like that. And I have a bracelet where it's like black obsidian. And then there's, I think lapis lazuli is earth. Anyway, there's different crystals for not each planet, because clearly there's a lot of planets. But it's like a solar system crystal bracelet from him. Anyway. So I'm just going to cut this, and then we'll see what wants to come out for the Soul Tribe. Soul Tribe reading. Attract through glow, which, yeah, I'm pretty sure that came out recently. High Priest, or no, Moon energy. Interesting. Again, there's this energy of, oh my gosh. There's this energy of you attracting people or someone in through your healing, and that's how it works. You start to... It's funny, my spiritual awakening actually started after I started therapy, and my therapist was like super positive, and she like just filled me with so much light during my sessions that then I would be like, I want to help people too. Anyway. I'm going to save this card because this card is like, I might cry about this card. And I know several of you, when this card has only come out once And when I read it, I know a lot of you cried. So we'll go to that one at the end. So perception wanted to come out, and I'm just going to read it. It didn't come out. Ostrich speaks to us about perception. The image of burying one's head in the ground conjures a feeling of the inability to face a wider perspective. To be fair, the ostrich burrows her head in the ground not to hide, but to rotate her eggs. When this card comes to you in a reading, however, it is the symbolism of burying one's head in the ground that we are meditating upon. Studies have been conducted to show that a hill will spatially be perceived as steeper when a person is feeling sad. Our emotion literally shapes our perception. We do not see life objectively. Instead, the way we see our physical reality is influenced by our internal emotional experience. When a situation reminds your subconscious of an uncomfortable memory, your subconscious will start to shape what you see through the lens of that past experience. Ostrich asks you to look at your current situation and recognize what perceptions you may be projecting onto it. One way to begin to shift your perception is to own that your understanding is never fully accurate. Instead of drowning in uncomfortable feelings, step back and understand that your emotions do not dictate the ultimate truth. Realize the control you have over your thoughts about the situation. This control is strengthened the more you become cognitively aware of your perception by questioning it. Start to notice the autopilot chatter in your mind. Listen to how it belittles you and the other people around you. As the Buddhist meditation teacher and psychologist Tara Brach teaches, the primitive brain continuously hijacks our ability to be present in the moment. The thoughts are real. The thoughts are real, but rarely do they hold any validity. Tell yourself, don't believe the thoughts over and over and over again. Don't give that ego monster your cookies. Give salad to your intuitive fairy instead. Don't believe the thoughts over. Tell yourself, don't believe the thoughts over and over again. This not only snaps you out of the autopilot zombie mind, but it starts to reprogram your brain and put you in charge of your perception. And that's what you have to do when your ego monster pops up and says, you suck. You have to actively say, no, I don't. Shut up. Stop it. Stop, you little ego monster. Remember, months ago, I told you, save this. Stop it. Do that to your ego monster. Ostrich's medicine asks you to consistently practice this awareness, and you will transition from being a victim of your thoughts to becoming a master of your perception. And I just wanted to say I had a comment from someone last night who said, but how do I love myself? I've been in therapy half my life. I'm ADHD, which is autistic and ADHD. And I wanted to hug that person because I know how that feels, to feel like you'll never feel okay, to feel like you'll always struggle. How can you embrace yourself when the things that make you who you are, you've been told are wrong? You shouldn't act that way. You shouldn't be different. You shouldn't, be quirky. Anyway, to that person, I am here for you. I still need this book. Why am I putting it away? 18. We're almost done. Notice how plain and unassuming the lightning bug is in the light of the sun, yet in the darkness he becomes his most magnificent, brilliant self. It is his glow that we all yearn to experience. His glow is magnetic and attracts divine feminine energy. Once you do your shadow work and you start healing, you start pulling people in with your light. His inner light is what lights others up, and His inner light is what lights up other lightning bugs and connects him to what he desires. In receiving lightning bug's medicine, you are being challenged to glow up and attract. Lightning bug uses his glow for many reasons, but one main reason is to connect with other lightning bugs and to attract his mate. So whether you are in the stages of attracting your beloved or you're just trying to level up in the world, Lightning Bug's medicine teaches us that we brighten our glow by enhancing other people's glow. Our inherent, and when you learn how to love yourself and love your shadows, you attract in someone who's ready to meet you on that level. Our inherent being doesn't just desire, but needs to be loved and heard by others. This card challenges us to enhance our relationship with others, and in doing so, we live a more fulfilling version of ourselves. When we are seen, heard, and respected by others, we not only feel amazing, but we glow more intensely. And that is 6 of Wands energy. Being seen, being heard, being respected, and it makes you feel amazing, And anyway, I'm not going to go down that road right now. How do we improve our relationships with others? Research has shown that when we focus on the positive qualities of others, we begin to experience their positive qualities constantly. This medicine asks you to start a daily journal practice by writing down the aspects you love and admire in others. You will not only begin to see these glowing qualities in others in abundance, but their glow will enhance your glow. Practice this for at least a week and watch yourself and the people you wrote about glow up. And I think it's really interesting because for a lot of my life, I would actually see people confident and I would find reasons not to like them. I would find reasons to judge them. And now looking back at that, it was only because I was judging myself, if that makes sense. Anyway. Okay, now, you guys. So that was on page 44. And the card you have that's come out is page 44. And it's the last one in the deck. It's on page 100 and 101 and goes on to 103 and 104. So Magician energy, High Priestess energy, Empress energy, Emperor energy. It's like you've been evolving, Magician energy, getting all your elements working and flowing. High Priestess energy, listening to your intuition, learning how to see beyond the veil, trusting in your inner knowing. Empress energy, we've already talked about it. Emperor energy, we've already talked about it. Leading into 5, Hierophant energy, spiritual growth, and perhaps commitment with another. Anyway, you guys, we got the foxy. We got the fox. And I already know some of you are like, oh my gosh, it's the fox. It's such a beautiful card. It's like one of my favorite cards ever. In the blossoming spring season, which is right now, my friends, or depending on where you are, Little Fox frolicked and skipped in the wild woods. As he played, his attention was constantly drawn to a distant light. The light glimmered deep in the forest, past the rumbling river. Although he couldn't quite make out what the light was, every bone in his body knew that it was meant for him, and his soul would spark with joy when he saw it. I'm thinking of Tangled, the lights, the floating lanterns. It was as if the light were a magnet calling out to him. But whenever Little Fox ventured toward the light, he was abruptly stopped by the roaring river before him. Little Fox would fall into despair, for he could not unite with the light that called to him. Time went on, and spring became summer. Little Fox would continue to catch glimpses of the light, still filled with excitement. I have goosebumps, like I have chills all over my body right now. Still filled with the excitement and longing to unite with his beloved light, he would regularly attempt to reach it, only to again be blocked by the roaring river. More time passed, and as autumn approached, Little Fox grew and learned many lessons. Yet he was still faced with an unquenchable thirst for the light. Little Fox became distraught and angry towards life. He often cried out in sharp howls, forsaking life and presenting him the beauty of light without allowing him to embrace it. My counterparts, I am thinking of you. So many counterparts experience something so beautiful and then they experience an even longer separation. Like most separations are longer than how long you were together, if that makes sense. Anyway. And so many people that I trigger in my comment section, you know, saying like, anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. They become resentful, you know? Anyway. He grew mistrustful that life did not have his best interests in mind and increasingly became hardened and jaded. Autumn transformed into winter. By this point, Little Fox was Big Fox, but his heart was broken, for the only thing he ever longed deeply for was out of his reach. Big Fox gave up. During the early winter months, Big Fox did what he had to do to survive, but he had a hole in his heart. Remember we were talking about the void? He walked with his head low. Snakehead! He walked with his head low, for he could not bear to look up and see the out-of-reach light. One day, as Big Fox lay asleep, snow began to fall. When Big Fox awoke, he was taken aback at this new element he had never experienced. As he started his day, he saw a gaggle of geese standing on the river in the distance. I have chills, you guys. Like, I have goosebumps all over my body. He approached the river with caution. Completely perplexed at how they were now standing on the water, he approached the river with caution. He had learned through all his seasons of life that he must be careful and cautious. As he put his paw in the water, he found it to be hard and sturdy. He gasped and thought, could this be the path to my light? Big Fox, I'm starting to cry and I have no idea why. Big Fox carefully crossed the hard water with deep awareness. He listened for the cracks and creaks in the hard water and scanned the sky for hawk approaching. As he crossed the river with extreme care, it dawned on him that if he were Little Fox, he would have run boldly across the hard water without a care in the world and could have been hurt or even killed. A shower of epiphanies began to rain down on him. He realized that he had to go through all the seasons and learn all the lessons to be prepared to walk towards the light destined for him. As Big Fox finally crossed the great river, he thanked Mother Earth and Father Sky and understood that he had to wait to gain the wisdom that prepared him for crossing the great river. If there is something that you yearn for in your heart and you've been trying to achieve it with little to no success, this is a profound confirmation it is approaching. Be patient. There is wisdom in the waiting. There is preparation time. This is the preparation time. You are gaining what you need to unite fully with what your heart desires. Endure, endure, endure. And I'm crying. Anyway, beautiful. I love that card. It's beautiful. And I love that it came out for our soul tribe reading today because it's just more confirmation to keep going. Like I tell you guys, if I had stopped anytime my ego took over and told me that believing in all this is bullshit, I wouldn't be right here. Persevere, endure, 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 like the Little Fox says. Anyway. Meh. Let's get you a few cards here. Let's get a couple of these. Begin again. Interesting. New start. Let's see what advice you need. Okay. Be gentle with yourself, learning how to nourish yourself. Rest. Reflection. This is, sometimes when sometimes there was one of these cards that talked about resting and surrendering, wasn't there? I think it was the Snakehead flower. We have reflect. Never stop reflecting. There's lessons in everything. And if I'm triggering you when I say that, maybe you have some lessons that you need to learn. Just like, anyway. Listen quietly. This is listening to your intuition. listening to your soul, not listening to your ego. No cookies for you. No cookies for you. I'm thinking of no soup for you. Nourish, 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 nourish. The shiitake mushroom. Nourish. I love it. And we have be clear about what you want. So true. Decide what you want so the universe can bring it to you. I'm telling you. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here, you guys. I love you. Thank you for spending time with me today. I'm about to go use my treadmill, so wish me luck. Where I'm going, I don't need luck because I have determination. Anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you soon because I'm going to do more face readings later, so I'll be back. Anyway, stop it. Stop moving. All right. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.